Sonia. Now I will invite Professor Ulumak to make his introduction. Professor Ulumak.
The manipulated supernatural powers has fascinated both practitioners and theorists through the centuries. However, until now, there is no agreement among scholars how to conceptualize magic, how to understand its social functions, its pragmatic aspects, and how to explain why magic, as a seemingly irrational practice and mode of thought, does not go away. Why is discourse about magic so persistent that it has never disappeared? In the late 19th and first half of the 20th century, magic became an important topic in folklore, anthropology, and religious studies. In late 20th century, interest in magic declined because the category itself seemed to lose its analytic value. It was too vague, and it looked like a vernacular, emic concept, and several scholars found it uncomfortable to use it in their academic writings. So magical beliefs and practices were often overlooked in scholarship until relatively recent years. If we look back in time, we can see that both in religious and rationalist discourses, magic lost its credibility and prestige long ago. It has been ascribed to the others, to pagans, to heretics, to uneducated or ignorant people, such as peasants in Europe were said to be, or these aboriginals in colonial discourse in colonial countries, colonized countries. And nowadays magic is ascribed to children. The psychologists say that until the age 6, children are able to think magically, and by the age 9 usually this ability disappears. But the children are the others who still carry on magical belief and magical worldview. These attitudes have contributed to connecting magic with esotericism and secrecy on the one hand, and to its growing folklorization on the other hand. When Enlightenment undermined the authority of religion and scientific views gained prestige, magical thinking was disparaged as a primitive and erroneous mode of thought. And here we get to some slides. Well, of course, James Fraser, who wrote his famous Golden Bough, he formulated the laws of similarity and contact as the grounding principles of magical practices. It is important to note that for Fraser, these principles refer to certain modes of associated thought based on links and analogies between phenomena, practices, and ideas. Of course, nowadays we have gone far beyond this evolutionary perspective, and we can't accept his view that magic will disappear whether with the spread of rationalism and scientific ideas, because we have seen this simply is not true. Fraser's ideas were later developed by field workers such as Bronislaw Malinowski and Edward Dimas Pritchard. They rehabilitated magic to a certain extent by noting its social functionality. So they discovered that magic made sense in the context where the beliefs and practices were spread. It was not irrational, it was not stupid, it had an important social function to carry. But the works of Dimas Pritchard were also important to introduce the concept of witchcraft and sorcery. He defined them as scholarly concepts, and maybe also this contributed a little bit why the discussion about magic, especially in the study of African religions, was declining. There is one early scholar of magic whose works have often been overlooked, but whose importance in contemporary theories of magic is growing. And here I'm referring to the work of one more armchair scholar. He was not a field worker, And that's also part of the reason why he has been put together with people like Fraser and Tyler and these other early armchair scholars who did no field work. He was a professional philosopher. Lucien Levy-Bruhl, who looked for the clues of understanding magic in the early history of human thought, just like Fraser. Societies are primitive men, as he described these people who carried magical mentality. He was introducing concepts like duality, unity, or bipresence when he was discussing, for example, how it is possible that, according to some, or how magical transformation from human into an animal can take place. He also wrote a lot about myths, and of course he did go into this genre analytic discussion which had truly happened from the natives' point of view. Well, his category of myth included also what we will know as participation. It was his main concept. By the way, I believe it's quite useful concept in folklore studies. It's said that participation is not only a mysterious and inexplicable fusion of things that lose and preserve their identity simultaneously. Participation enters the very constitution of these things. Without participation, they will not be given in experience, they will not exist. One might say, for this mentality to exist is to participate in a mystical force, essence and reality. So this, of course, is talking about this primitive men, as he used to call the people of archaic societies. Later, scholars like Susan Greenwood have characterized Levy-Bruhlian ideas about participation as follows. Greenwood has written, mystical thought connects one thing with another in a pattern of ideas and behaviors, and participation is the key. There is no sense of separation, there are no individuals as such, people are never others than parts of groups where they belong. Things that are distinct and separate nevertheless participate with one another, sometimes to the point that they form only one. Susan Greenwood is the first scholar of magic whose work I'm going to discuss very briefly. She has made efforts to understand magic from chemical perspective, as an insider. Well, she has academic preparation, of course, but she's also a practitioner of magic. She has taken part in witchcraft rituals. She has worked with shamans and has practiced as a reader of tarot cards. According to Greenwood, magic is an alternative mode of consciousness, or she defines it as highly specific human mode of mind. She also writes that all human beings have a potential capability to achieve magical experience. Greenwood draws attention to the verbal expressions of magic as she writes, stories and myths are a language of participation. They take us deep into imagination where different experiences are possible. However, she finds the essence of magic not in social practices, such as storytelling or different modes of consciousness. It was also claimed by Levy-Bruhl already and has been shown by other scholars. Another contemporary scholar of magic is Rene Millersdorf, who has done field work in Siberia among the Yukagir hunters of the Kolma River. Well, that's a very vague map of Siberia. I'm going to take you through one example, one narrative to these eastern Siberian places on Kolma. Experience of hearing stories of the others from my childhood as a boy. Well, it could have been maybe in the year 1974 or 1975 in the deep Soviet time, when the supernatural and religion in general was very much suppressed by the atheist and communist state. It was a time of great storytelling, telling urban legends. And I remember one of my friends telling a frightening story about two boys who somehow found an old book of black magic, and just for curiosity they wanted to apply this, to use this. And according to all the rules of ritual magic, they went on a Thursday night, evening, in a certain place near Tartu. And I know this place very well. It is on the suburb of Tartu. Well, it's the border of the town. There are no homes there. It's not a residential district, but it's a district of graveyards. And it was a dark evening, a winter night. I'm just trying to give a brief impression of a stone graveyard in winter time. There are some candles out, a well-developed graveyard culture. And according to the rules, the boys drew the magic circle around them. They took the book and they started to chant, to summon the Lucifer, the evil one. And then what happened? Suddenly all the lights went off. There was a power cut. All the distant, electricity lights in the streets disappeared. It was all in the darkness. Just a few candles in the graveyard that was there. And then suddenly the wind rose. A wind like in this previous story from the 1931, with a strong wind. And the trees were covered with snow, and the snow started to fall down from the branches. So there was this frightening noise around there. And then the next thing that the boys did, they just fled their own way. So that's the end of the story. That's the end of the story that was told to me as a true story. And well, storytelling, and it is really emotional. I remember very well the emotion, this frightening, shocking feeling. Well, this really happened. My friend knew that the boys who went out. And of course, now thinking about analyzing it as a folklorist, I can very well see the connection between these earlier stories of summoning the devil, of course, in the Soviet atheist time, in the ruling discourse, the beliefs about this demonic assistance, they lost its relevance. But it's interesting, it's a kind of, for example, of alternative beliefs that goes against this rational, dominant discourse that was taught to us in the schools. And certainly it's a story about the supernatural, but the experience in the story is constructed in the narrative. It is just an example of a legend that was told. So now we come to the last example from this year, from fieldwork in Jharkhand. It is not so far away, where I was lucky to do fieldwork together with my friend, Dr. Rabindranath Sharma from the Central University of Jharkhand. And there is one village, Jaher, a few kilometers away from the now story of this temple, according to one local man. Mr. Chairman, do we have still time for this? Okay, thank you. Then I know I can complete. A Brahmin family, but the owners had moved away. There were no patrons to pay the Devari, the priest, abandoned. Village people told stories that evil spirits, bhoots, haunted the place, and the place acquired sinister aura. And he told about his experience about 6 years ago when he dreamed about this.
Our discussion Luna, I don't really know whether I should have done it earlier or now, but I know one thing, I had to do this, so I want to do it.
Margaret Mill's presentation was extremely interesting, especially because she includes the narratives of the Persian-speaking Afghans, where there are the female storytellers who include females as tricksters. So she sees transcultural commonalities and looks beyond the local to understand the archetype of the trickster. She has brought in gender issues and also the transformative power of this trickster. Who through creativity of rule breaking strengthens social norms She was a trickster to counter tyrannical tricksters. But what I found very interesting was that women in Afghanistan gained agency through these narratives of female tricksters. Dr. Walk, on the other hand, took us through the history of theorization on magic and the supernatural. Here in South Asia, we are not unfamiliar with magic and the supernatural. In fact, even in Bangladesh, we have many rituals which performers themselves are said to be faith healers. And since my own work is in that area, I have tried to understand how a performance can actually cure a snake bite. So, in fact, I have to say this before I continue. Doctor, is there a valid way in which the supernatural sort of enters the body of the afflicted and removes the snake poison? I guess there are many things in life which we don't paradigms for studying our own folk performances because of the fact that, as you said, this story from Jharkhand or Bihar, this is something which is told and retold in our villages all the time. And you have sort of given us a theoretic paradigm for studying this. Thank you, both of you. Thank you.
Is open for general discussion. Being the chairperson of this session, I am flattered to give myself 1 minute. I want to be paid. That should be my token honorarium. That I have a token. I will open the discussion by asking 2 questions to my own self. Yes, it's not for you. Nobody wants to answer it. One question is, one small comment is that that is for my friend Professor Ulla Walt's discussion, out of his discussion. I was wondering that one of the things which I wrote in the abstract, but I did not discuss it because I'm highly impressed by Jack Zapp's and Tani's definition of magic, that magic is actually, fundamentally, the purpose of magic is to change things. When things are not changing, then you use the magic because the other things are becoming idle or they are not functional. When you cannot remove poverty by any other method, people have more magic than this. I think that is, anthropology has ignored that question. I will give one example from India. I was thinking we are getting more educated in India and more universities, thousands of universities and all kinds of schools and colleges, but I found that we are becoming more and more superstitious people. We have got more than 300 TV channels, out of which 75 channels are dedicated to magic men. Early morning they start at 4 o'clock and there are funny things happening. Somebody has some disease and he is told to go somewhere and break a coconut there. Okay, then he comes back after 3 days. So why are you here again back? He says, I went and then broke the coconut, nothing has happened. Oh, what were you wearing in your feet when you went there? I was wearing chappals or some shoes. That is not true, you should have gone barefoot. Go again and it will go. Highly educated people are going and asking for remedies of their promotions and all kinds of things. I think that definition in folklore may be very much needed, and that needs more investigation. This is a question I ask myself. Next time I meet you, I will bring more definitions and more here. I have one more small question before I open this for you. I am a very selfish man. I need to be paid. Unless I am paid, I don't work. I have that small hunch. So in many communities I found, in my own country and elsewhere, they don't distinguish between the myth and the folktale. They have a narrative. It is up to you where you fix it. They don't hide. I think many of my fieldwork trips and other things I did in Bangladesh also, many people simply do not know where to put it, whether it's a myth or it's a folk tale. They have this story and they say, in my own culture, and I am not a very, very primitive human being, but I have only one word which explains all the genres of folklore, except the... I will bring you the answers next time, inshallah, when we meet again here. Now, the forum is over. I have time to discuss and ask questions and comments and everything. The first question and the first comment comes from...
I have a question for Professor Uluwag. You made a very interesting statement, I think made by an anthropologist. Concepts of spiritual beings, educated people? That's my question.
No, we are addressing this question for whom? There are two topics.
No, for
And it can very well be that societies, cultures without literacy are dominated by genres that we call legends, and very often they are dominated by religious discourses. But I don't see an extremely strong connection here. It is it's very difficult to apply some clear schemes of classification and claim that the more educated people are more rational and less open for supernatural experiences than the uneducated people. This would be a question to sociologists, but as a folklorist, I doubt. I think it's very relative. It very much depends on the situation of storytelling. People can enter in a certain mode of thinking, consciousness. They can be carried away by a genre of fantasy film, fiction film, and they can come back to the reality. So I don't have a very good answer to the question, but I don't believe so.
Well, more comments, more questions, please.
You have talked of continuum within the trickster, but if you can talk about the continuum between the trickster, the fool, the trickster, and the deity-esque figure, and this continuum when a performer in Bangladesh able to find any parallel to the kind of story that you say belongs to Afghanistan and Persia and Iran. Now, but the other thing is, I would like you to maybe think about, or maybe share what you think, is if you see a continuum from a fool, as it happens in Bangladesh. So you really have a very interesting, not clear-cut division, but kind of a gliding over areas. So what I'm trying to say is transgender storyteller who was neither male nor female is telling a story of, say, Shahzad of 1001 Nights. You see very interesting sliding over of categories, which I find very interesting in Asia, and which is very interesting especially because what you've said, you have moved away from the typically North Indian coyote trickster-esque figure to a different kind of trickster-esque figure, especially and also in South Asia. But what I'm also trying to say is that such figure is very interestingly what you found in Persia and Afghanistan. In the female context, specifically a female trickster's figure, I don't see anyway in Bangladesh as yet. Which brings an interesting area one has to look. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, of course. Okay, the first is a story, if you can tell us the story.
Okay.
The trickster, the fool, and the deity, they're all kind of, there's a continuum.
The trick normativity and behavior, and so that's what they do.
So you see, and that is why I'm bringing it up, because Shahzad in 1001 Nights, as a storyteller, is the attribute of Shahzad
Right.
when told by a storyteller in Bangladesh who is transgendered in a certain way, in a performative context. So you see, there you have multiplicity in terms of gender construction.
So many layers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's terrific. Thank you.
So if you could sort of comment on this, plus if you could tell us a story, at least one story from Persia or Afghanistan.
I guess my short comment is I need to know a lot more about Bangladesh, and I would run each other and so on. It's just really interesting. But I'm speaking from ignorance, so I'm very interested to hear the examples that you brought. Oh, a story. Well, I have to tell you a very short one because the good ones are all rather long. So you tell me whether this is what you wanted to know. There's a poor man who makes his living picking thorn and selling, just selling thorn in the market for fuel. And he's very poor, and he also has a wife who's always nagging him. He's very unhappy in his home life. One day he's out picking thorn, and he finds a dry well. It's just a former well, but it has no water in it. He looks and
Huh? Oh, the paper. Okay. We will talk about it very soon. No problem. We are working on it. Yeah, this position for them, this space for them. I have the duty to say thank you to you for being very patient, for very important papers that could take many days to discuss very properly. They are very serious papers. Both of them are very complex. It would take a lot of time. It's a book-length paper, both of them. I could see how much was my friend, Professor Margaret Mills, keeping these slips down pages, actually. So we are so happy that we had these two papers, and I am fascinated by their presentations. I asked these chapters on this theme, and I also see, of course, where I am so unlucky, I don't know how to read it and understand French. Tani's, some parts of Tani's work, she's a madam and a very great scholar of folklorist in France, but we have very few pages of her work translated in English, which I'm using again and again. She's also the same opinion. I feel sometimes folkloristics has gone in a slightly different direction. One of the dangers which I feel that I would like to share this concern with all of you here, you honored me too much, and I'm sweating really. You can see what is happening. I'm a nervous man. I'm sweating by this honor. Too much burden with me, but I'm grateful to you, and thank you very much, sir. Yes.
2007 and give us a story of 2013. So we break now from this session. After this, there will be a cultural performance which really relates to many of the folk performances or our country performances. And before I go over there, with the permission of the chair, may I answer a little to that person's, okay, and that I do in Bangla, I'm sorry. আসলে আজকাল আন্তর্জাতিক সেমিনারে অনেক সময় এই যে লেখাগুলো আর্টিকেলগুলো সার্কুলেট করা হয় না। তার অনেকগুলো কারণ আছে। একটা বড় কারণ হচ্ছে যে যিনি আর্টিকেলটা লেখেন তিনি মনে করেন যে এইখানে পড়ার পরে এখান থেকে যে সমস্ত কথাবার্তা হবে সেই সমস্ত ফিডব্যাকগুলোকে দিয়ে তিনি একটি পূর্ণাঙ্গ আর্টিকেল তৈরি করবেন। সেই কারণেই এটা প্রধানত দেওয়া হয় না। এর অন্য একটা নেতিবাচক ব্যাপার আছে যে অনেক সময় এই বিতরণকৃত যে আর্টিকেলগুলো অনেকেই নিয়ে এটাকে নানান রকমের প্লেগিয়ারিস্টিক কাজেও ব্যবহার করেন। সুতরাং ইদানিং একটা মোটামুটি এইটা রীতিটা দাঁড়িয়ে গেছে যে আন্তর্জাতিক সেমিনারে যে সমস্ত পেপার দেওয়া হয় তার অ্যাবস্ট্রাক্ট ছাড়া সাধারণত পুরো পেপার এটা বিতরণ করা হয় না। এটা একটা মোটামুটি এখন রীতি হিসেবে দাঁড়িয়ে গেছে, এই জন্যই হয়তো এগুলো দেওয়া যাচ্ছে না। Just after this, I will request the guests over here, our chairperson, Professor Mills, Lubna Moriam, and Professor Valk, to take your seats over there, because we will just enjoy one good cultural performance in which there will be 5 items. One is what is called Dhua Gan. You will see that there will be a singing and which will be followed by